What is up, guys? You got Not the Worst here, bringing you a little news update video. We got a executive producer New Year greetings dev note that was dropped today. So we're going to cover some of the topics there. It's a bit lengthy, and unfortunately, if you're hoping for a super quick video, I think it's going to be a little bit longer than I wanted this to be because a lot of the information is actually pertinent. So I'm going to read most of it, I'll summarize, and then kind of give my thoughts on a few things. It's mostly just announcing some new content for the most part and talking about stuff we already knew that was coming. So we get a little greeting paragraph, which is garbage, so we don't care. Next. New endeavors today, just talk about starting from beta in 2016, although it says on 2016. Black Desert Online's grown in depth, and we've consistently updated new contents without rest. This led to small changes causing a butterfly effect. So basically, they say their goal this year is to make Black Desert Online even more vibrant and filled with more exciting new contents by making it an MMORPG that is easy to comprehend and enjoyed by gamers who are not used to such intensive adventures. This kind of sets the tone for what they're talking about here and the direction that they want to take BDO moving on throughout this year and in the future, what they want with it. Basically, it's things they want to implement to make it more accessible to everyone and not a lot of new players typically feel overwhelmed with BDO when they're starting out, and they want to kind of eliminate that stigma around the game in general, although it's not really a stigma, it's just actually true because there's so much to do in the game. So we've talked about it before, it's been all around, I'm sure you've heard it rumored, revealing enhancement success rates. They confirmed that that's going to be implemented in January 16th, which is next week's patch update, so we will have that live on the servers. What this means, they also did say, and this part was important, let's see, we decided to display the actual numbers to help adventurers that were struggling with the enhancement system so that the actual increase in chance is displayed every time an attempt fails. There are no changes made to the actual success rate, so this should not be a big change for our veteran adventurers. So everybody that was tinfoil hatting like, oh, these aren't the actual percentages, whatever, when they were on the test server, they actually are. So we have that here. I'll link it because I talked about it before in other videos, but other people in the comment section have been asking. We don't have it for accessories yet on this, but armor and weapons, and they are slightly different for different things on some of the points. But these are the percentages that are on the test server up to 120. So I'll link that in the description below if you want to check it out. But this is essentially confirmed now. These are the rates. Like, absolutely, these are the rates right here. We're going to have this live anyways once the new update comes out a week from tomorrow. So you'll have it directly in-game, but this is a handy chart at least to look at. For the most part, I mean, it seems right. A lot of these numbers go in line with what most people were enhancing. A lot of rule of thumbs and things like that. And then it's just all kind of awesome, also interesting to see, like, a lot of people's like, oh, I refuse, like, for instance, like, oh, there's no way I would start. Some people are like, I won't start a tri-stack until 32, and it's like, all right, cool. Well, you're at 25% at 30 on a tri-stack, and you're at 26.25. It's like, really, 1.25. Anyways, little intricacies like that kind of end some arguments between what the actual best possible stacks are for things. Anyways, confirmed. There's that. It's not changed from what it ever was since it was increased a long time ago. So there you go. Going beyond MMORPG. This is talking about the Shadow Arena, their new Battle Royale. They just kind of talk about why they're implementing it. They don't really go into detail. An early access version of the Shadow Arena will be launched soon, and continuous improvements will be made on the content. The exact date of the release will be announced in the near future for the Battle Royale. The Shadow Arena has undergone testing since December of last year on the Global Lab server, and we received feedback and suggestions during the time. We'll do our best to make the Shadow Arena enjoyable for all adventurers, including those who are not familiar with BDO. They pretty much just touch on how, since everybody plays Battle Arena on a level playing field at the beginning, that it puts newer players not at a disadvantage to people that have been playing a long time, since it's a different game almost entirely, and then it does reward you with some stuff that'll be relevant in the actual BDO game. So personally, I don't actually understand the point to this. I mean, I get their reach for trying to get more attention to the game, get more players comfortable with it, and for maybe people that aren't super comfortable with RPGs in general of this type, you know, maybe it gives them that avenue. But for me, it's just kind of like scratching my head, like, why? Like, why are we doing? Are we just jumping on the Battle Royale, like, hype train right now because you can and doing it? Like, why is this? I don't know, man. I just don't understand the Battle Royale addition to the BDO game. It's super weird to me. Your game is an MMORPG, and we're just like jumping out, branching out, like, oh, look, so for other adventurers, let's give them this Shadow Arena. You know, if you're not super good into RPGs, like if you're not super into RPGs, probably just don't play BDO. Maybe try that out instead. Anyways, whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. Maybe it's cool. Maybe the rewards are super dope, and everybody will do it. Hashtag I doubt it. Central Market. This is the new marketplace update that's coming out. Again, we already knew about this. And here's something that's interesting to me. Now, granted, this letter's directly to NA and EU in general, but keep in mind, this market was, I talked about it in a previous video, that they released it on the MENA server, and I kept saying that I think the MENA server was really just their test market for it to actually implement it, see what kind of bugs it has without disrupting a larger audience like NA, EU, or Korea, without putting the central market in, so that way you have, a guinea pig and see how it actually gets implemented on live server. This section pretty much confirms that was exactly what they did. So coming out, new central market was mentioned a couple times before and will be released soon, trademark. Essentially, they just break it down what it does. New central market gives the economy increased freedom. Maximum minimum price still exists. However, the range in which prices can be set have increased. We already know this. They talked about how they couldn't implement the changes they wanted for the current marketplace and had to redo the marketplace in general. And then just the last note with it, that they're still working on it. They said that in here somewhere. To prevent marketplace price manipulation, everyone will be able to see the items with high price fluctuations. Those who attempt to abuse will be at a systematic disadvantage. Central marketplace we'll also have additional security measures. Not only that, we're preparing to launch a central market website that can be accessed on your PC and mobile devices on the market once it's stabilized. This website will allow you to access the market without logging into the game. This news and lively market is planned to be released soon, trademark. So we're getting that at some point. This is Territory War. So basically they're adding an even larger scale war. It's going to be for guilds that own level 3 and 4 nodes in Calphion or Valencia territory rather, and those guilds will have to fight intense battles as a representative of that nation and defeat the other nation's general, commander, NPC to win. If you die, you will not be able to continue to fight in the territory war on the same day. Therefore, survival is of the utmost importance. Unity and tactics will be the deciding factor in which nation wins. Territory war will be the greatest war that has been held in the open world of Black Desert Online. This war is far beyond the scale of Node War or Conquest War. You'll be able to try Territory War starting on January 16, 2019 in the Global Lab. It will be released to you all once it's been streamlined. So, you might be asking, oh man, well, I'm not in one of these guilds that get these type of nodes. What do I do now? Well, one, try and join those guilds, but two, they got your back here, because here is what they call Heroes of the Battlefield. A new system replacing the existing militia system. It essentially works like militia system where you can be a mercenary, but you can do it as while you're in another guild. So here's the Battlefield system where adventurers can still be part of the guild that they are in, but participate in a Node War or Conquest War as a mercenary. As long as the guild it doesn't say Territory War, by the way. So that's interesting to note, because when I first read this, I thought it included that. It clearly does not. Although it may just be saying that because Territory War is not out, but we'll see. As long as the participating guild doesn't exceed the maximum number of participants, they're able to recruit Heroes of the Battlefield as temporary mercenaries. You get a contract fee paid for it, and your contract will end at midnight, and you'll go back to your original guild once you receive the payment for it. So there you go. It's going to be a benefit for guilds that need extra adventurers to fill the spots, and then it'll be a benefit to dudes that don't want to necessarily leave their guild, but they want to branch out into a little bit of node warring, and maybe their guild doesn't do it, or maybe you're a life skiller with like super dope gear and you want to try it out once in a while, but the rest of your guild is like a life skilling guild and they don't. Who knows? Whatever. The option will be there, so that part's actually cool. Meaning of adventures and adventurers. This paragraph here, or well, it's a couple paragraphs. This section here is a little bit more obtuse. So they talk about how the biggest point in Black Desert Online was item performance. So increasing your gear and getting better items, which meant getting more silver was the the biggest proponent of increasing your gear. So then they said they wanted everything you do in Black Desert Online to be something that's meaningful to you. And in order to make everything meaningful, since not everything makes the same amount of silver, they want to adjust that. They don't specifically say what, they just say they're going to work on it. So in order to solve these problems, one solution is to reveal the enhancement success rates, which we're getting. Another is to strengthen the meaning of adventure in the Black Desert Online world. Some adventurers enjoy fishing, while others love to cook. Some may love to climb mountains or go on expeditions. We plan to make all these activities even more meaningful so that adventurers can experience growth regardless of the path they choose. I mean, it sounds like buffs to life skilling, and maybe some other stuff too as far as adventuring, like climbing mountains goes. I mean, who knows? They did add that little plant farming thing recently, so there's that too, the Minesweeper minigame. Don't really know. Adventurer's Tome, they're going to add new stuff to it. Secret Adventure Journal is under development. This is similar to the Mysteries of Summer event where they gave out like riddles or whatever on Twitter and stuff like that. Adventurers can obtain rewards by solving riddles through hints that will be provided in update notes and in game. It's under development, but they basically are saying they want to be able to do that or something along those lines once again. And the game is too hard. This is just kind of a recap. In the coming months, we're looking to apply various changes to many of our content to make too much of our content. contents is what I should say, to make them less complicated and more approachable for our adventurers. Again, just recapping what the point to this note was, the direction that they plan to take BDO in the following years, making it more accessible to newer players or other people that maybe played it and it was just too cumbersome, taking in all that the game has to offer at once, and they want to streamline it, make it a little easier for everybody and more accessible. So we'll see how that plays out. That's just my input on each of the sections here and what I think. Really not interested in the Shadow Arena, but that's just me. I've also never played a game of Fortnite in my life, so there's that too. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Be sure to like it if you enjoyed the video or the content at least. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so that you get updates when we do live videos. We'll be covering patch notes coming out tomorrow, so be sure to check that out. You don't want to miss what's going to be new in the patch notes. It is not the marketplace, which we know is not coming out just yet. They're still fine-tuning that. And did I cover everything? That's it. All right, everybody, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.